And for your audience, Hungary was the least communist country, the most relaxed communist country.
But today we are going to focus on to life story of individual life story.
Yes.
So one of my very close friends.
Thank you.
I'm not sure whether you think or not.
Of course I do. Of course, we loved you the moment we saw you. You know, such great energy, so humble, kind, beautiful. Budapest is lucky to have you.
Really?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Thank you very much. And he's the member of EXCO in Budapest Toastmaster.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's the founder of Indian Palm Leaf Reading
Yeah, the Indian Palm Leaf Reading Institute. Yes.
Institute.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. So today we invite one of the best friends in Budapest. His name is Dr.Q, and thanks for coming.
Sure thing.
Yes.
My pleasure. Thank you. Most people call me Dr. Q, and not because it's I really have a PhD, so it's not a joke. I do have a doctorate, and it came about when I was a student studying for a PhD. So people started calling me Dr. Q, and it stuck. So that's the reason why people call me Dr. Q. Q is my first name, short version of my first name. I grew up in Iran. My father's Persian, and in 1979 we had to flee the country. And my mom's Austrian, so my mom's European, blonde, blue-eyed, and my father being a Persian guy. In 1979, there was a revolution in Iran, and our family, had to flee the country, as my father's side are Baha'is, which is a liberal, open religion, very much unlike the new religion that took over in Iran, being Islam. So we would have been killed and tortured. So we had to flee the country. And my mom being Austrian, so obviously we fled in August of 1979 to Austria. And our very first family vacation, my father said, hey, let's have a vacation together and let's drive to Hungary. So our first family vacation outside of Iran was Hungary.
Wow.
So we came to Budapest. We came to Budapest and we went to Balaton. So we spent a week or 2 weeks maybe, in communist Hungary. And at the border, I remember as a kid, it was quite shocking to me to see all these soldiers, machine guns, and the sentry posts, and the dogs, you know, the guard dogs. I said, man, this is where we're going to go on vacation? Wow. And then we entered Hungary, and it was very backward. So we drove on the main road from the border to Budapest. And it was like a very low-key, small road. No highway, nothing. And I remember we had, on that road, there were mule and horse-drawn carriages on that road, yes. And the chickens, and yeah, it was like, what is this? Not developed at all. It was very backward. And it reminded us a little bit of Iran, because Iran is not a wealthy country either. So my dad, I remember him in the car saying, oh my gosh, this looks like just like home. not so developed, you know. And so it was a good feeling. I liked Hungary because of that first experience. 7, 8, 9 years ago, I met a Hungarian girl. And at that time, I moved away from the US, and then I thought, where should I live? And then I thought, well, Hungary is a great place. And so I moved to Hungary. And for your audience, Hungary was the least communist country, the most relaxed communist country. Czechoslovakia, Poland, East Germany, much stricter. So Hungary was used for Germans, East Germans and West Germans to meet, because East and West Germany were divided. Cousins, brothers, uncles, they couldn't see because they were divided. So what they did is, East Germans could not travel to the West. Of course, it's a strict communist country. But within the communist countries, they could travel. And then a West German, because Hungary was not so strict, they would allow Westerners to come in too.
That's why we see on people.
Yes. and so the West Germans would come to Balaton too. So they would have family reunions at Balaton in Hungary. Yes, in the 1800s, late 1800s, the Hungarians started to spend money on building beautiful big buildings, the Parliament and like the whole embankment, the Hero Square, the first metro, during the times when it was part of the Austrian Empire.
Yes.
So, until 1918, until 1918. But during communism, of course, they were not renovated. They were not kept up. So when I came for the first time, it was black, dark. Yes.
No night view.
No night view at all. But also the buildings were all dirty, like the smog. It was not no paint, and it was like to me as a Westerner, of course, I could see the difference. It was very different. Yeah, it was dark in a way, dark. It was different shades of gray throughout the city. It has changed a lot since, a lot, absolutely.
Now it's one of the beautiful cities.
It's beautiful. It always was a beautiful city, but because of communism, nobody did anything. And then the Second World War, it was bombed. The city was bombed. And after the war, they didn't have the money to rebuild many of the old buildings. So they didn't have money during communism. So they built these ugly communist buildings. Yeah, it's like a scar in the city.
We are lucky to be here.
Absolutely, I feel lucky to be here. Absolutely, for sure. There is no doubt about it. I enjoy Hungary, Hungarians, the food. Hungarian food I like a lot. Great wines. I get along with Hungarians very well. I always felt comfortable, so I'm biased.
Second hometown.
Absolutely, for sure. Absolutely. It feels like home to me, yes. It's just a pity I can't speak any Hungarian, because I meet a lot of Hungarians when I travel, everywhere. And I always like, Hungarian, and I want to say, hey, what's up, what's going? And then I only know 200 words, and then that's it. I cannot really, connect with them. Yeah, it's a pity.